Welcome to Switch Comics. My name is Marco, and today is New Comic Book Day. Got some awesome new comics to talk to you about, but first, let me of course remind you about my giveaway. At 600 subscribers, I am giving 3 lucky winners one comic each. I have Venom number 9, first Dylan Brock, Invincible Iron Man number 1, first cover appearance of Riri Williams in her Ironheart armor, and Hawkeye number 1, Kate Bishop's first solo series. Some 3 very sweet books. All you gotta do is leave a comment on this video or any video. Every comment on a new video will leave you a new chance, or give you a new chance to enter. So let's go ahead and hop into today's books. Gonna start with Marvel, and we gotta start with Black Cat, giant-sized Black Cat, The Infinity Score. This book is the culmination of the Black Cat series, as well as the whole Infinite Destinies run, all of it coming together into this giant size issue. And man, I gotta say, it's pretty sweet. Before I go too much into it, I have to show you, I try to calm down on the variant covers, but man, this one is just an absolute beauty of a book. I love this cover so much. This is a Ji Young Lee. I always want to confuse them with In-Yuk Lee, because they both, in my opinion, they're both really good and have similar-ish styles and are both insane, but this cover is just absolutely brilliant, I think. I love it so much. Now, as far as the story goes, like I said, one question, a big question is answered of why Black Cat has been gathering these Infinity people, is what I'm going to call them, because if you aren't aware, the Infinity Gems are no longer gems. The powers are residing in individual people, such as Star, and I can't remember the other one's names. She was the only one I can remember. But she's been gathering people for this big heist. With Black Cat, everything's a big heist. But this is, a big thing, unlike anything else. But we don't really have any details until this issue of what was the end game, what was the plan, what's the reasoning for her needing all these powers, And I think it worked really well. Jed MacKay's been doing awesome work. The only thing that sucks about this issue is that I do believe it is I know it's technically not part of the run of Black Cat, but I mean, I think this is the final issue of his series. I don't know if he has any. I do know he is going to be doing the Black Cat and Mary Jane comic. I know that's coming up, but other than that, I don't know what else he has planned for Black Cat. And I feel like there's a lot of loose threads still at the end of this book, so I don't think, I think there's definitely room to expand upon what happened, and I'm really just anything Jed MacKay's working on, I definitely have an interest in checking out, and I'm gonna miss Black Cat if this is the end of his writing for it. But moving on now to before I do that, let's do this one. Let's do Captain America Iron Man number 1. I picked up this cool Infinity Saga cover, as you see here. I'm a big Iron Man fan, and I was kind of on the fence because I'm honestly not a big Captain America fan. And Bones, you're kind of leaning on me here. Can you give me some personal space? But I'm not a huge Captain America fan, so I was like, I don't know. Do I want to pick this up? And I will say, at least in this first issue, despite Captain America being the first one in the title, which the title's on the back here, on this variant cover, there wasn't too much Cap in it, and it seemed more like a Tony story, because as with most things, this is about a villain that Tony created from his past, and coming back to haunt him. However, the villain does seem more complicated, maybe, and I'm curious to see where they're going to go with it. I do believe it is a miniseries. I don't know how many issues it is with miniseries. It's typically just like 5 or so. But I thought it was fun, and it actually was pretty cool to see Cap and Tony They just work well together. I mean, there's no, denying that. They have each other's backs and can work and save the day quite easily together. And also a little bit of bicker and banter, or not so much bicker, but a little banter and jokes between them as they save the day. So it was a fun read. I'm excited to see where the rest of it will go. There was a really cool, I think, a preview for the next cover, which Alex Ross is, he's the man. He's the master of metal, I think. Obviously he does a lot of other great work, but his metal work is just so good. And then, especially here, it's all, it's raining and everything. It's a beautiful cover. The A cover for this was a great looking cover as well, but I had to get the Infinity Saga cover. Just too cool. And then moving on to a more sour note, we'll say. We got Death of Doctor Strange, Blade. This is a little one-shot Death of Doctor Strange tie-in. As far as Death of Doctor Strange, I'll give a recap on that first. The main series has been great. The first two tie-ins, Avengers and Strange Academy, I thought were okay. They were fine. The second two, which were White Fox and Amazing Spider-Man, I thought were really good. And then this week there's only one tie-in. And I gotta say, I didn't enjoy this. It's kind of a weird... Danny Lore is the writer, and I gotta say, it didn't feel like he, and I didn't look into it, it didn't feel like he's ever written a comic book before. Interesting enough, the story seemed okay, and I've had this weird feeling, because I literally, the other day, because again, we get our comic books early, and I try to read them ahead of time, so I have time to make a video and do everything I need to do. But anyway, I sat down one day and I was like, I'm going to read a few comic books. I got a little time here. And I read this one first. And I was like, actually, it kind of turned me off, the whole thing. I might going to go do something else, laundry or whatever I ended up doing that day. I don't remember. It just really, I didn't like it. And I try to be truthful here. And it sucks because the last Blade book that came out, what was that? Darkhold Blade, I didn't like that one very much either, although I will say it's weird. I feel like the story's better in this one, but really what just slaughters this one is it feels like the writer has the constant need to tell you how somebody feels about what was just said. It's like, this is a comic book, it's not a regular book. We have visuals. I can see that Blade is angry, because the setup, if you're not familiar with what's going on right now, Blade is kind of a babysitter for the vampires. They're like, vampires, you can do your thing, but don't be attacking people. Blade's gonna, he's watching you. So he's just chilling with all the vampires as they do their thing, and obviously they're making fun of him and yelling at him and whatever, and he's not happy with that. But this is a very good example. So all these orange boxes that you'll see on the pages here, they are all, I feel like every orange box in this whole thing is unnecessary, in this whole book, and it's littered with them. And let me make sure you can see. I'm going to get a little closer so you can see, and I'm not trying to spoil any stories or anything, and again, this is not one that I even recommend. I just want you to see, and you don't have to read them, obviously. But it feels like every orange book box is just like, somebody says something and it's like, and Blade didn't like that, and he was, he was angry about that, and actually he's losing his temper faster than usual, and just like, I can pick up on that. I know that Blade's angry, you know what I mean, and I just feel like they over-explained everything in this comic book, and it took away from what I thought was actually an interesting story. Like the premise of it all and how it played out was kind of cool. But, and I actually do like the kind of conflict between him and Dracula, because they're forced to be near each other. They're obviously not friends, but I like that bit of dichotomy between them. I thought that was interesting, but it was just dragged down by explaining every little obvious detail to me, and I was just like, I can't deal with this book anymore. And it was I think I did finish it. Yeah, I did finish it. It was kind of painful to get through. And like I said, there are some cool parts, but maybe if if you do pick it up, try reading it, because maybe you're just picking up all the tie-ins anyway. Try reading it and skipping over all the orange boxes, and tell me if you enjoy it. You don't have to listen to me. Maybe that's crazy. But I think you might have a better experience if you skip all the orange boxes. And then got a couple more Marvel books here. We have Marvel Voices Community. No, it's the number one technically, but it's just a one shot. And it's just a bunch of little mini stories of a bunch of Hispanic characters. I had to pick it up. One, yes, I am Hispanic. But, I mean, it's got my boy Robbie Reyes on it, and it's a beautiful cover. And I thought it was pretty cool. With any kind of book like this, some stories are better than others. Some of them are very short. One, I think, was literally... one I remember is just a single page. It might have been two that were like that. But the one that I do remember, that it was a single page, I enjoyed it. If you're not Hispanic... there's certain things that you might not appreciate. Like, I'll tell you the one that I said, I remember is a single page, is just about, it's about making tortillas. And, it's told in a interesting, in a thoughtful way, I guess I'll say. And if that heritage and importance doesn't mean anything to you, that story might just be like, what did I just read? I could see that, But, if you are Hispanic, or if you maybe, just are familiar, maybe you had a lot of Hispanic friends or something, you know the culture, or if you're just, interested in the culture, maybe check it out. Like I said, some of the stories I didn't care for as much as others, but there were some cool ones in here. Off the top of my head, I think, because like I said, there were multiples that I think I liked maybe the White Tiger one best, I think. But like I said, there were some cool ones and I had fun. There was one about somebody from Strange Academy. I think it's the first story. It's one of the earlier ones. And I'm not familiar with her at all. I need to read Strange Academy. I keep putting it off. And the story is just getting farther and farther along. So then we picked up, and I was pretty skeptical on picking up this book. We got Devil's Reign #1. You know me, I had to pick up the Momoko variant. I do think the cover A is cool. I do think the 1 in 25 is really good. I don't remember what artist did that, but man, the 1 in 25 is gorgeous. And here's a little thought and speculation. If you're watching the Hawkeye series, maybe... or if you're not watching it, rather, maybe skip ahead because maybe you don't want to know about things or whatever. And nothing's necessarily spoilery. I guess one thing I will say be kind of spoilery. So just a little thought and theory that could be nothing. It literally could be nothing, because at the time of recording this video, the Hawkeye show hasn't come out. Because remember, I record these videos the day before. So... obviously, by the time it comes out, I've already watched it. So we'll see. It'll be interesting. But at the time of recording, I don't know yet. So, Hawkeye #1, the Kate Bishop new little miniseries, that came out on the same day that the Hawkeye show on Disney Plus came out. Which was, kind of interesting. Nice little brand synergy, we'll say. And this is, again, we're going to get into some slight spoilers here. Slight. Now, granted, it's also for last week's episode, so, nothing about this week's episode. I haven't seen it. So, last week's episode, there was a tease for Kingpin. Alright, stay with me. We just saw, if you watch the show, we saw just, his sleeve and hand. That's all we saw. It's Kingpin, I'm telling you. And it's not just because I own this book. It's Kingpin, and we're here to laugh. It's his voice. I know it is. I know it. I'm not going crazy. You're going crazy. But anyway, so we got the tease last episode, which I gotta say is way earlier. I thought he was going to be like an end credit scene on the last episode. I thought that's when we were going to get Kingpin. But that got me thinking. Devil's Reign comes out today with a new Hawkeye episode. And Devil's Reign, despite this Momoko cover, is all about Kingpin. And, he's the mayor of New York and everything, and it's a pretty cool issue, by the way. We'll get into talking about the issue in here in a second. I gotta go a little speculation here on you. And just in case I'm right, because again, I'm recording this ahead of time. So in case I'm right, this is my moment to shine. Or my moment to look really crazy, one of the two. Maybe this episode we're getting the full reveal of Kingpin, though. It's kind of my theory. Now, by the time this video even comes out, it won't even matter, because we'll have already known. This is more for me than for anything, I guess. Let's talk about the comic. Now, Devil's Reign, pretty cool issue. I will say I have not read any of this Daredevil run, minus the King in Black tie-ins. It was maybe 2 issues, I think it was. That's the only bit of Daredevil I've read. I've heard good things. The little bit that I did read was good. So that's cool. I feel like you don't need to know going in. Just know that, like I said, Fisk is the mayor of New York. And I feel like, if as long as you know he doesn't like Daredevil and that he's the mayor of New York, you're good to go. So it was a pretty interesting thing, and it's going to be interesting to see how this does tie into other comics, because everybody's got the dreaded, oh no, they're the event tie-ins, and are they good, are they bad, do they matter, and so I guess it's a slight spoiler, but basically Fisk is cracking down on superheroes, so that's going to affect everybody in New York. So this is again a slight spoiler, but I did read in the previews, the Marvel previews they give out, so it's 2 months in advance, talking about how it didn't say specifically, so like I said, it's a slight spoiler, but it said basically Moon Knight is predisposed, dealing with Devil's Reign stuff. So, because I think Hunter's Moon is maybe taking his spot or something. I'm not really sure. It's just a preview, so we'll see. But I'm curious at the ramifications that it's going to have in these other series. I don't even know what it's all tying into. I didn't originally intend on picking up this series because I was kind of burnt out on events. You know how it goes. But granted, there is a good writer on this one. I did enjoy the last Marvel event, which I think was King in Black. Other than like X-Men stuff, I don't get into X-Men too much for me to get into. But anyway, I did like this one, and then to cement that I will be getting into Devil's Reign. On the back of these, they always have, most of the time have a preview for the second issue, and the second issue has my boy Taskmaster on it. So I'm getting into this series, which I was pretty sure he would be, because I know he was part of the Thunderbolts in the King in Black Thunderbolts thing. There was, the Thunderbolts for Wilson Fisk. And I know there's a Thunderbolt miniseries coming out for Devil's Reign. So, I don't know. I guess I'm into this one. I don't know if I'll pick up all the tie-ins. We'll see. But so far, issue 1, pretty good start. And we'll keep it quick on this one. This is just a cover by Hellions. I don't know the number. I don't care. It's just a cool Momoko. Yeah, I liked it. So, there it is. Let's save some time. I've ranted for a long time there, so I'm sorry. We're getting into Star Wars. I have one Star Wars book. We have Crimson Reign, #1. I picked up I think this is the B cover. Very cool Darth Vader. I'm trying to remember what the A cover was. Oh, yeah, it had Kira, which this is a story about Kira, which, if you're not familiar or don't remember her name, that is Han Solo's chick in the Solo movie. Not a terrible movie. Gets a lot of bad rep. I think when that movie came out, there was a lot of Star Wars hate. But if you go back and rewatch it, it's not a bad movie. I didn't hate it when it came out either. But anyway, it was a cool Vader. It didn't have anything to do with the fact that Kira was on there. Vader's just cooler looking than most people, And when you get the reflections on the helmet and shine and everything, it looks really good. That being said, it's about Kira being in charge of Crimson Dawn. Kind of after Maul is taken out, which, spoilers, this has happened in comics and it's happened in the Rebel show, but Maul dies. So, if you haven't known about that, it just happened. It's been like that for a long time now. So, and which, as we saw in the Solo movie, he was in charge of Crimson Dawn. And so this is, I don't know exactly how long after that, but it is definitely after his reign, and Kira's in charge now. So, and she's got kind of a big scheme, plot to take out the Emperor, and, you know, get more power, and, you know, you do things that you do in Star Wars. Pretty good first read. I did like it. Didn't know if I was going to pick up this one either, but I ended up doing it. I tell myself, nah, I'm gonna slow down. I'm gonna slow down. Here I am, still picking up a bunch of comics and enjoying them. How gross of me. Now moving on, I got a single DC book. I got Soul Plumber #3. I got a fun cover on this one here with Priest Rivera, I think is his name. I don't remember. Man, this book is weird. This book is just super, super strange, and I really like it. At points, I feel like it's trying too hard, but I feel like it also knows it's trying too hard. I feel like it's trying to try as hard as it can and have fun at the same time. The dialogue is often goofy. The whole thing is goofy and gross and strange, and I like it. I like it a lot. It's a weird book about God and exorcisms and demons and faith and weird people. And I like it. And that's the best I can do on that one. It's a strange one. You just have to check it out. Maybe it's not your thing. Maybe it is. You'll find out when you get there. Then we have crossover #10, and I picked up the cover B variant. I thought this was a super fun variant with all kinds of different characters and stuff going on in there. And man, I love this series. I feel like I really liked the first 6 issues, but ever since the 7th issue, this series has just been really, really good to me. I thought it was super awesome, and obviously the 7th issue was written by Zdarsky, and he's bringing in other writers, which I think is it has like a really meta idea with this of where it's kind of breaking the fourth wall, not in like a Deadpool way, but you know, like this first one, this first page here starts with a script for this comic, and I don't want you to, you know, I don't want to reveal everything that's going on, although I do want you to check out this little Venom sketch in the bottom here. That's a little fun nod, because obviously he wrote that last run of Venom. Thought that was super fun and cute. But yeah, he's got this crinkled up notes of, not draft, just this printed out script for this comic. There is some some written on notes and different stuff, but also Brian Michael Bendis writes a part of this book, and then there's also the artist goes from Jeff Shaw to Michael Avon Oming, I think is his name. I feel like I mispronounced that. I'm not sure. But I mean, you'll be able to see there's a stylistic difference and everything, and it's so, like I said, meta is the best way. Like, it's messing around with itself, and then at times, you know, the story seems confused with itself. It's like, what's going on? Like, this isn't the story that's supposed to be being told. And I like that it's just all wrapped up, and he's bringing different writers into this, and it's just crazy. I think it's super cool, a lot of fun, and really creative. And like I said, ever since that 7th issue, and because I really enjoyed this series. I'm still waiting on my #3 one per store foil to come in from CGC. I haven't forgotten about you. Where are you at? But anyway, I like the initial first arc, but ever since then, I think it's just been really amazing. So definitely check out Crossover. I feel like this book lost a lot of hype after they're like, oh, there's not going to be Marvel and DC characters in it. I don't care anymore. Which, that was a big ask, and we didn't think it was like, oh, please, that'd be cool if it did, but it probably wasn't going to happen. So, yeah, I think that, you know, it got a lot of flack for anticipation and what people wanted to be in the story, but there's some really good writing and creative storytelling, I guess we'll say, in this. Now, moving on to What's the Furthest Place From Here, #2. A pretty weird, cool little series about some kids in gangs that don't like adults for some reason. I don't really know where they are. They're like in this weird dystopian future of abandoned buildings. I don't really know the best way to describe this book, but it's interesting. I'll tell you that. Same problem I have with the first issue is that there is a constant need to put these chapters. It's a full black page, and it's always a chapter, and then the name of the chapter is just a line. They'll say it, and it could be on the first page. That's another thing. The chapters are like these weird, just short little segments that don't matter. They really just don't matter. I don't know why it's there, and maybe it won't bother you as much as it does me, but it does bother me because it's just so constant. You'll read a couple pages, new chapter. I don't think there was any in this issue, but in the last issue there was a page that was there was a chapter that was a single page. What? What are you doing? I mean, it's a big book, and honestly, could be thinned out. And you could save, there's a paper shortage going on for, Image Comics isn't doing second prints, but they're allowing people to waste pages by putting 17 chapters. I don't know how many it is, but it's a lot. It's a lot of chapters in this book that's a full black page of nothing. It's a good series. It just irritates me. Moving on to Basilisk, the last book of the day. Basilisk number 5, which I don't think this has come out in a while, which I just noticed. If you look in the corner there, it says Chapter 5. It's okay if the full comic is a chapter. You don't need to have 10 chapters in each comic book. Anyway, Basilisk is a cool story. Last issue, they fought against the other powered people. I don't remember any of their names. Like I said, I feel like it's been a while since issue 4 came out. Or Chapter 4. But, this one was a bit more of a setup into moving into the new stuff that they're going to be working towards, I guess. There is something cool that does happen in this issue regarding what happened. I mean, basically, a lot of it is just, what are they doing after last issue, and what are the bad guys, what are the good guys doing now, and what are they setting up to start moving forward towards in the future. So, not a crazy, I can't believe that happened, or anything in this issue, but good read nonetheless. I do like this series a lot, and it's pretty cool. And that's my last one for you. Don't forget to catch me. Me and Chris will be doing a live stream today at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Eastern Time. I feel like I said Easter. I'm pretty sure I said Easter. 8 p.m. Eastern Time. Catch us. Do it. We're gonna be making some Legos. We got some little Lego sets. We're gonna be talking about comics. So the plan is to do this every Wednesday. So, if you read some of these comics later on tonight, you want to go talk about them. Obviously we won't go super spoilery, but just tell me if you like it, don't like it. You have different comics to talk about or whatever. Leave your comments on about that kind of stuff in this video as well. But if you want to get a live interaction, we can do that while chilling, hanging out. It's going to be from like 8 to 10. Might be a little longer, might be a little shorter, depending on the Lego sets and what we have to build or whatever. I don't know. But roughly 8 to 10 is the plan. Thank you all so much for watching the video. If you can't make the stream, you can always watch it later. I know that people are busy and have things to do. I get it. I'm trying to make it. And times might change later. To me, this seems like a good time right now because it's not too late. But yeah, we're just kind of workshopping it, and I'd like for as many of you to be there as possible. Yeah, so I don't know if you have thoughts on that or whatever, just let me know as well, because I would like any feedback you have. Obviously, it'll probably take a little while to get our rhythm going as we start streaming. But that's it. Thank you all so much for watching. Appreciate everything you all do. Make sure to leave a comment. Get entered into the giveaway. And I will see you next time.